Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 21. Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajikacharya Astotara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 21. Yad yad acharati shrishta tatta devetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate yad yad acharati shrishtas tat tad evetaro janaha yasayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate yad yad acharati shrishtas tat tad evetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Yat, whatever, yat and whichever, acharati does the act, does he act, Shrestha, respectable leader. Tat, that. Tat, and that alone. Eva, certainly. Itaraha, common. Janaha, person. Saha, he. Yat, whichever. Pramanam, evidence. Kurute, thus perform. Loka, in this world. All the world. Tat, that. Anuvartate, follow in the footsteps. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Whatever action performed by a great man, common men follow in the footsteps. And whatever standards he sets by his exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Purport. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by personal behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly even before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow in the principles of Shastra, scripture, to reach the common man. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and similar others are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principles of the standard rules they are practiced by the great teachers. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and in that way, and that is the way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of a state, the father and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such leaders have great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with the standard books of moral and spiritual codes. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tad evetaro janaha sayat pranamam kurote lokastad anuvartate. Hare Krishna. So this is the very straightforward verse. Krishna is explaining an obvious truth. And there is a saying in India, Yatha Raja, Tatha Praja. That according to the king, Yatha Raja, according to the king, Tatha Praja. So are the citizens. In other words, what the leaders do is, what example they set is followed by those who follow them. And we can see that very clearly now. We are cursed by a coterie of leaders who have no spiritual qualities. Our politicians, big ministers, big presidents, prime ministers, first of all, they're all liars. They lie and lie and lie through their teeth again and again and again. Practically speaking, one of the main qualifications for being a politician is to be able to lie with a straight face. Then they are sinful meat eaters. They support unnecessary violence against poor animals, woman hunters, drunkards, gamblers. All these qualities are therefore passed down to the people in general. And here Krishna is saying to Arjuna that your behavior is so important because you're a Shrestha. Shrestha means you are a respectable leader. Arjuna was not a common fellow. He was a prince. His father was the emperor of the entire planet, Pandu Maharaj. And Arjuna was so powerful and so qualified, he was able to travel to the heavenly planets where he met Lord Indra. He was able to meet Lord Shiva face to face. He received so many boons and so many weapons from the great demigods. And it was beloved by the citizens. But here in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna forgets what is the real need of the citizens. He forgets that the purpose of life is not to have comfortable material situations. The purpose of life is not to have a nice family. The purpose of life is not to be superficially pious. The purpose of life, and the very beginning of that purpose, is to understand that you are a spirit soul. And as a spirit soul, you have only one responsibility, and that responsibility is to the Supreme Spirit, to Krishna. Therefore, when Arjuna doubted Krishna's words and didn't want to follow his instructions, Krishna called him an anarya. Kutastva kashmalam idam, Krishna tells him. Where is this kashmalam? Where are these impurities coming from? Samupastitam, at this moment that you actually are called upon to lead, you are called upon to fight, you are called upon to replace the crooked government run by a liar and a demon called Duryodhana. You are called upon to replace him with a pious king who will give proper guidance to his citizens. Then, anarya jushtam asvargyam. You're refusing to fight, you're refusing to do your duty as a spirit soul is anarya. It is against the principles of this great country. It's against the principles which you represent. Asvargyam. You will not go to the heavenly planets when you die. Akirti karam. It is akirti. It is the opposite of glorious. Kirti means fame and glory. So it is infamous. Akirti karam, asvargyam, akirti karam Arjuna. So, and then again, not only in that verse, later on Krishna again criticized Arjuna. Asochanam vasocha swam. You're speaking such nice words. You don't want to fight. You don't want to fight against your guru. You don't want to fight against your teachers. You don't want to fight against your grandfather. You don't want to fight against your cousins. You're not interested in a material position. You're not interested in the kingdom. You say, even I would not want this kingdom because all the people from whom I will fight are the ones that I want to enjoy with. So Krishna chastised him. And he said, the fault in your reasoning is that you don't understand what is your duty. And your duty as a Shrestha, as a leader, is to teach your citizens by example. And the main teaching is to teach them that you are a spirit soul and they are also spirit soul. And the most important thing is to follow Krishna's instructions. That's it. Somehow it doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter what position we're in. If in that position we can satisfy Krishna by our activity, that is the perfection of life. Just like it's the perfection of my hand to follow the instructions of my mind. If I tell my hand to scratch my nose, then the hand is performing its proper duty. Because the hand is connected to my body. It is connected to my mind, it's connected to my intelligence, it's connected to my sensual desires. Therefore, it has to operate according to my desire. If the hand becomes paralyzed, it becomes a huge problem. I will spend thousands and thousands of euros and get the best medical doctors to try and cure it. So, we are eternally connected with God as spirit soul. We are connected with God just like my hand is connected to my body. We are connected to Krishna, and whatever he desires, we should perform. If we don't perform what Krishna desires, if we act independently, then from Krishna's point of view, we become useless. Just like my hand becomes paralyzed, it becomes useless. As I said, I will spend time and energy to get it repaired, to get it healed. So Krishna also spends time and energy to heal those souls who do not work in perfect conjunction with his desires. And his time and energy is this material world. We come to the material world for one reason and one reason only: to become purified, to become free from this desire of being independent from God. Because no matter how nicely satisfied we may be in the material world, if we are acting independently of God, we will remain in the material world and we will take birth after birth after birth. We may be nicely situated birth after birth. We may go to the heavenly planets, but that situation of being independent of Krishna doesn't satisfy our need for love. Our deep, deep need, love. Love is so important that, practically speaking, it is sought by everybody. And when you have love, you become happy. Not only you become happy, everybody becomes happy with you. There is a saying that the whole world loves a lover. Why is that? Because a lover loves the whole world. When you're in love, it doesn't matter whether you only have a little bit of food or a small house or little money. That love will make you feel so happy that it will transcend the material possession. This is what we are looking for. And if we are looking for love in material objects, then we will never find it. Because so-called love, when it is reflected into the material world, it becomes upside down. It becomes lust. What we call love here is lust. And real love is that we dedicate 100% of our energy to satisfy Krishna. By doing that, by hearing about Krishna, by chanting, by remembering, by following the instructions of the spiritual master, by chanting, by becoming Krishna conscious, we gradually awaken what is already there in our heart. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Shadya Kabunai. Krishna Prema, or love of Krishna, that love that we are hankering for, it is Nitya Siddha. It is eternally our property. It is simply covered. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta, but beginning from hearing, Shravanadi, beginning from hearing, Shuddha Chitta, we purify our mind, Karayudoy, and it becomes manifest. Just like if you simply sit here and look at the horizon, it may be night, but if you sit there long enough, the sun will come. So in the same way, when we destroy the darkness of ignorance, then we become lovers. We awaken our love. Then the material situation is not important. Then we can understand Lord Chaitanya's prayer, Nadharam Najanam da Sundarim. I don't want money. I don't want followers. I don't need a beautiful wife. Kavitam va. I don't need knowledge. What do I want? Jammani Jammanishware Bhavatad Bhakti Raituki Tvai. Please, Krishna, give me birth after birth, Ahaituki Bhakti. Hetu means reason and ahaitu means no reason. So ahaituki bhakti means bhakti without any reason. That I relate to God without demanding anything. That I'm willing to stay in the material world, it doesn't matter. Even Lord Shiva, he taught his wife Durga that Narayana Para, that one who is a devotee of Krishna, of Narayan, Sarve, Na kataschana bidyate. He is never afraid of anything. Swarga upavarga narakeshu. Whether he is in the heavenly planets, whether he is liberated from the material world, or whether he is in hell, tulyartha darshina, is equal-minded. Because those are all external things which have nothing to do with his mood of love. Once you awaken this love, You can go anywhere. You can be any place. High, low, it doesn't matter. In Italian, there is a saying, pane, amore e fantasia. Pane means bread, amore means love, and fantasia means whatever your mind brings up. That's all you need. If you have love, you can live on bread and water. It doesn't matter. But these truths, this truth of our spiritual identity, it is not being taught to us. On the contrary, our teachers are in complete ignorance of their spiritual identity. And the people are unfortunate. Prayena alpa yusha shabya. First of all, living in these times, we don't have much of a long life. We are allotted 100 years. Very few people reach that age. Most people, especially people who don't have the drive to be Krishna conscious, they don't have a comfortable relationship in the material world because they are depending on the material world to give them satisfaction. And as old age comes, they become depressed, they become dejected. So many diseases, so many problems. So, prayena alpa yusha shabya, kalo asmin yuga janaha. That kalo, in the time of Kali Yuga, the jana, the people, don't have a long life. Manda sumanda matayo, they have a disturbed mind. They are crippled in so many ways, especially spiritually. Sumanda matayo, the mentality, their consciousness is disturbed. Manda bhagya, they are unfortunate. He, and above all, upadrutaha, they are always disturbed. Because they are looking for this love. And they are looking and not finding it and becoming disturbed. So, Krishna is teaching us that we require to have a leader who shows by example how to live a spiritual life. My example, I was searching for this love all my life. I couldn't find it. It's only when I met the devotees, when I met Prabhupada and his instructions, that I was able to understand which direction to look for this love. But Prabhupada was unique as a leader. One person. The actual leaders of the material world in which we live now, of this world, they are all not only, they are fifth class. You know, there is, in Vedic tradition, there are 4 classes: the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. The intellectuals, the leaders, the administrators, the businessmen, and the workers. These are the 4 classes who, cooperating together, can actually gradually come to the spiritual platform. But it depends on the leader. Now we have no leaders. Our politicians, there's no Brahminical culture. Brahminical culture means a culture of the spirit. There is no culture of the spirit. Simply enjoy your senses as much as you can, by hook or by crook. So, in the 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a whole section in the first chapter describing the leadership under which we live today. Already 5,000 years ago, Vyasadeva put it in writing. This is what's going to happen. And it is happening in front of our very eyes. Asamskrita kriyahina rajasa tamasavritaha prajaste bhakshakshanti mlecha rajanya rupina. That the mlecha, or the 5th class leaders, take the position of rajanya, of kings. But actually, they are asamskrita. They are not purified by Vedic rituals. They don't follow the Vedas. They don't follow even the Christian culture, or the Jewish culture, or the Mohammedan culture. They don't follow anything except their own sense enjoyment. Kriyahina. They don't have any pious activity in their lives. They are in Raja. Raja means the mode of passion, that they do nothing unless they get something for it. This is Rajagun, that I will not act unless I get some profit. I will not make friendship unless I get something from that friend. I will not worship God unless He gives me what I want. What kind of a base is this to build a friendship, to build love? Love is the opposite. So, tamasa avritaha. Because they are in ignorance, because they identify with the body. So, prajaste bhakshayishanti. They, actually, it says here that these mlechas, rajanyas, these politicians, these political leaders, they will eat their own citizens. Well, they are certainly eating their own animals, which are also prajas. They're also born in the land. It's not that just Dutch people are born in Holland or American people are born in the USA. The cows and the chickens and all the animals are also born there. They're also praja. They're also citizens. They have right to live, but no, they're getting eaten. And even their own citizens, their own children, they send them to fight wars and die on the battlefield. They don't go and fight. You don't see the President of the United States going to fight in a battle. You don't see the Prime Minister of England going to fight in a battle. You don't see the Chancellor of Germany going to fight in a battle. If there is a battle, they go to the bunker. But they send their citizens to die, even their own children. So, this is Kali Yuga. Tatas chaudadinam dharma satyam socham shamadaya kalena balina rajan nangshanti ayur banam smritihi. That in Kali Yuga, these are the symptoms. Day after day, religion will diminish, truth will diminish, lies will become prominent, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, all these things will become less and less and less as Kali Yuga progresses. Kalena balina, that the time factor is so powerful, my dear king. Nangshanti ayur balan smriti. It will kill all these things. It will kill health. It will kill strength. And it will kill remembrance. This is the nature of Kali Yuga in which we are living now. So don't, whatever you do, before you come to the moment of death, dive into Prabhupada's instructions. Read his books. Put it into practice. It doesn't matter even if you do a little. It doesn't, Krishna knows what your capacity is. If your capacity is very small, Krishna will accept that as very big. But do it with some sincerity. It requires sincerity. That is very important. So, since the Shreshtas or the leaders of our world, our politicians, look at our leaders. Who do we consider great leaders? Who are the most famous people on this planet? Actors, actresses, and sportsmen, and millionaires. People who have money, doesn't matter how they get it, by hook or by crook, they are worshipped. Actors are worshipped because they can act. Who wants to worship an actor who is simply playing a role which is over within the performance? Who is interested in this illusion? And sportsmen wasting time simply deeply in the bodily concept of life. It is a very dangerous situation. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami concluded that Kali Yuga, at the times we live in, it is an ocean of faults. But there is one good quality. Asti eka mahan guna. Mahaguna means great quality. What is that? Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. If you simply glorify Krishna, Kirtanad eva Krishnasya, to Krishna. If you simply turn your attention to Krishna and glorify Him by hearing and chanting about His activities, Mukta Sangha, you become free from the bodily conception. Param Brajet, you don't take another birth, you go back to the spiritual world. Thank you very much. So I wish you all a Happy New Year. I took some time off. Appreciate your patience. And we have some comments, beginning with our friend Atmavidya. Hare Krishna, my humble obeisances to the virtual assembled devotees. Yeah, we are virtually assembled. Our whole body is a virtual assembly. Mandy Pryor, Hare Krishna. Albert de Vos, Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada, read Prabhupada's books as it is, please, exactly. And Ekanath Dasi, Hare Krishna Prabhu, keep chanting Hare Krishna always, says Vishnivamsa, and he's right. So I thank you for your participation. If you want to comment further, please go ahead, and we'll see you on Friday. And Haribol, Jai Srila Prabhupada.